Hello and welcome to this first lecture of Maintaining Consistency and Cohesion in Brand Management Excellence course. So we looked at how to connect emotionally in the last section, in 8, 9 lectures precisely. And one of the things we learned in the success factors and what makes excellence is that once we figure out the right things, we need to maintain consistency and coherency in image and message across all touch points. So this section we will talk to you about how can you do that? How can you maintain a consistent, coherent image and message across all touch points? And we will begin by taking you a quick overview in this and then talk about some other things, start talking to you. So, as we said, after understanding how to build emotional connection, we need to maintain a consistent and coherent image and message across all touch points. So, how can you do that? How do you think you will go about maintaining a consistent and coherent image and message across all touch points? Any thoughts? See, maintaining a consistent image and a message across all touch points is important. We saw that because that's how the brands are built. A variation or consistently wavering image and message won't build. And there's a story here that I want to tell you of one of the students who said, "Hey, sir, if I want to build a well, I can't dig a well if I go to 10 different places and dig 100 feet, right? I need to dig in one place, find the right place, dig it to 1,000 feet. And that's the story of consistency. So it is essential for building a strong and recognizable brand identity. And what can you do? So some of the strategies are what you see here on the screen to achieve this consistency. We will take a look at each of these as we go forward. So in the first lecture, we will talk about developing a brand style guide. So how do you think you can develop a brand style guide? Any thoughts? What is brand style guide and how can you develop it? See, creating a comprehensive brand style guide that outlines your brand's visual identity, including logos usage, colors, typography, and design elements, is important. So you need to create that. This will also include guidelines for your brand's tone of voice, messaging, and the key brand messages. Now, what you need to do is start with an introduction that provides an overview of your brand, its mission, its values, the essence you want to convey through your visual identity. Clearly outline the proper and improper usage of your logo. Include guidelines for size, spacing, clear space around the logo, and how it should appear on different backgrounds, light, dark, or color. If your brand has multiple logo variations, horizontal, vertical, monochrome, include guidelines and when and how to use each of these variations. Because if you do not provide guidelines, people will apply their own mind and use it, which may not be in line with your brand consistency. Specify your brand's color palette, including primary and secondary color. Provide color codes like RGB, CMYK, or HEX for both digital and print application. That will ensure that you have color consistency. Define the fonts and typography that represents your brand. Include guidelines for headings, subheadings, body text, and font sizes for various different types of media. If your brand uses specific icons or illustrations, include guidelines on their style, usage, and when to implement them. Right? So develop this brand style guide. Also in the brand style guide, you need to talk about describe the preferred photography style of your brand, right? This could be color schemes, composition, image types like lifestyle, product focus, or emotions you want to convey through your imagery. And that is very important, the emotions, because we found that we understood that in the last lecture, emotions is the key. Include guidelines for graphic elements such as patterns, textures, or shapes that are unique to your brand's visual identity. Provide guidance on the layout and the composition of your brand materials. Outline how to arrange elements, use white space, and maintain consistency in design. Through the written communication, although it is more relevant to the written communication, consider including tone and voice guidelines in your style guide to reinforce the brand personality and communication style. It is important. The communication style of your material should that be consistently in one particular style. Include visual examples of correct and incorrect usage of your brand elements to provide clear visual references. Nothing is better than providing an example. Explain how your visual identity can be applied across different media, such as websites, social media, print materials, and merchandise, and that is critical for getting consistency across different media. List all the brand collaterals, marketing materials, and touch points where your visual identity will be applied. Consider including accessibility guidelines to ensure that your brand visuals are inclusive and adhere to accessibility standards. Different people with different abilities are able to access them. Outline how the style guide will be updated and maintained, and include version control to track changes, because this document is going to be dynamic as well, right? It's going to be dynamic. If necessary, include any legal guidelines or restrictions related to use of your brand element. Decide how the brand style guide will be distributed and accessed by team members, designer, partners, and vendor. It should be available to people who need it and who can stick to those guidelines. So creating a comprehensive brand style guide is a collaborative process that involves input from design, marketing, and brand management teams. It serves as a valuable resource to maintain brand consistency and ensures that everyone involved in creating brand materials adheres to the same visual standard. Right? So what's next? Having looked at how to develop a brand style guide, we will now look at how to establish or talk about establishing core brand values and how to do that. And that's the topic of our next lecture. So thank you so much for watching this first lecture on how to maintain consistency and cohesion in your brand messages across all touch points and messages. In this course in brand management excellence, I hope you're continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again. If you want to see any of these slides in greater detail, please download the PDF files. And if you have any questions, do feel free to message me and I'll be happy to answer your questions for you.